two freshmen who are starting in this very first game for Uconn as a 1A team. The other is free safety Jason Della Selva. And here's a young man, Steve, who got lots of experience playing Australian rules football, and he's about to kick the ball in a collegiate game for the first time.
This will be his first kick, and I've watched Australian rules football, and I'm going to ask him to explain it.
Oh, you're the one.
Yes. You're familiar with it being at ESPN a lot, but he's got a strong leg, and they're interested to see how well he reacts under pressure, and he booms one.
Sure does. Back at around the 30-yard line, Kawan Douglas fumbled the football, and it looks like the Huskies got it, and they do. So Uconn comes up with a huge play on special teams to kick things off as the ball was fumbled by Kawan Douglas, and at the bottom of that pile, it's going to be Roy Hopkins who came up with the football for the Huskies, and they'll take over at the 30-yard line for Eastern Michigan. So how do you like that?
Just what you need in a situation like this. You might be outmanned a little bit. You might not have the speed to match it, but you can make some big plays, and nothing bigger than a turnover on special teams. Gets a real good kick, real good height right here. It's close to see. Sometimes they're supposed to give him about 2 yards. They get a little bit close to him right here, but they got plenty of room. Cuts right in front. You can see Hopkins jumping on the ball. He never had a chance of catching that ball. Tommy Collins will catch that ball 99% of the time.
Adam Coles into punt for the 6th time tonight. Averaged 38.8 yards per punt in the first half. And back deep at his own 35-yard line to return is Ashanti Watson. Coles, the young man from Australia. Beautiful spiraling kick. Fair catch by Watson back at his own 28-yard line. Spectacular punt by Coles.
And he even had some pretty good pressure from, who else? Scott Russell. Watch, he gets the ball. He's got good form. He holds the ball out straight and long. Holds it out, doesn't drop it too soon. And he gets a little bit of pressure. Scott Russell again held his composure. Good kick, I'd say young man, but
24 years old.
24-year-old freshman, so it'd be hard to say. Interesting story how he ended up here. He was actually 2nd place in an NFL-sponsored kicking contest down in Australia. Ended up at a kicking camp in Florida and got recommended by a Uconn alumnus. What was it? Tommy McManus, was it?
Right. Well, where did the guy who finished first wind up?
Is that the kid in San Diego? I don't know.
45-yard punt.
He's been doing a nice job in the secondary for the Bulls.
Adam Coles is the punter, a young man from Australia, just learning the game. Left footer. Hangs one, angling it toward the near sideline, and that is very well done.
Not bad for just learning the game. One guy will be the leader for Dwayne Williams. He's a transfer from Vermillion Junior College, and they've been waiting for him to be eligible to play, and boy, he is really a force out there.
Cole's first punt, good for 37 yards. McDonald is deep. Cole's waiting for the snap. It's a good one. Big rush by UB and a booming kick. High spiral, and down goes McDonald, but he was not given much room to make that catch, and that's going to be 5 yards. He does have a huge leg, and there's a good punt. He gets this one away. McDonald
will have to punt the ball for the first time today, and that in itself is an interesting story because I don't want to say Randy Edsel went all the way to Australia because he recruited this young man on tape, but Adam Coles comes to Uconn all the way from Australia.
And we watched him yesterday in practice, and he is a big man. He's not a kid. He's 24 years old, and he's a freshman, and he's a former Australian rules football player.
He's 6'5", 220. He's averaging 41.2 yards per punt. So he'll stand at his own 25. Long count from center. And what a beautiful booming kick. Sends DeWalt back to his own 8 where he's wrestled to the turf by Carl Bradford. Fabulous kick by Adam Coles. And Boston College will start out with very poor field position following a 51-yard boot. Maybe the Huskies ought to do some more recruiting and on. Not enough.